Hi, hello, good afternoon. This is Shanker, and this is my video in my series of my experiences of about 40 years in astrology um, on certain things which are, which come out to be clear. And here I tell you about Rahu, but the main reason of telling you about Rahu is that these things you should always check up to check the horoscope. You know what is it? Because these small things, when you are not sure about the time, they make a lot of difference. That is one thing. But here I'm going to talk about Rahu. Uh, to know more about me, you can go to my website, shankarstudy.com. Uh, WhatsApp message number, only message, is 9818718733,000. 9818733000. I am not a professional. I do it as a hobby. It's a research for me, and whatever horoscopes I can see, and I've seen more than a lakh of horoscopes over a period of 40 years, and discussed horoscopes. With that experience, I share it with everybody. If you want to share something, please do give a WhatsApp message. And here I'm going to talk about Rahu in various houses. Rahu in the first house makes a person very rigid. Rahu in the first house becomes very powerful if the sun is well placed. I mean, if the sun is in, suppose, in the fifth house and Rahu is in the first house, nothing is going to happen. It's going to make Rahu very, very powerful. I mean, the person can rise in both in the fields of politics and government, and it's good. So the power of Rahu in the first house, it depends on, you have to look at sun, irrespective of Rahu, irrespective of the Rashi. Rahu is in the second house is very good today in Kali Yuga. You earn a lot of money. The way you earn money could be due to deception, could be telling lies, could be showing what you are not, so on and so forth, which are supposed to be called as jugaad, or people call them as street smart, or people call them as intelligent planning, smart working. With all that, you can earn a lot of money. Rahu in second house is also there. You're very good and very lucky in legal matters. Even if you're caught in legal matters, and assuming a person has a horoscope where he has to go behind the jail, I mean, due to that particular crime, or a civil crime, or any kind of negativity which he has done, if Rahu is there in second house, he will get a protection. I mean, if he has to go behind the bars, he will probably get a bail. He will get something which is there, which he should not be getting from the court, from the judge. So he's lucky in matters of legal matters and judiciary matters. So Rahu promises you riches here. Rahu promises you to be a smart person, and Rahu promises you legal help. What else you want? So Rahu in the second house is always very good. Also have a look at Jupiter. If Jupiter is very strong, Rahu becomes much better. So this is what is Rahu in the second house. Rahu in the third house is that you will have in-laws who will be prosperous, powerful and good. You will have neighbors whom you should be, who will also be powerful. I mean, you'll be living in a society where there are rich people, there are bold people, and so Rahu in third house placed well is good, and especially in case of you'll have prosperous in-laws. That is one thing which I've seen. So you do ask. I mean, that is one thing I was telling you. If Rahu is in third house, see what is the status of in-laws when somebody comes with you with Rahu in the third house. Rahu in the fourth house is a very good thing to have. It gives you Raj Yoga in the old age. Raj Yoga comes after the age of 45, 49. That is a time when you can relax. You are well off. Now here, Rahu when is in the fourth house and Moon is badly placed. Rahu in fourth house and Moon is in the sixth, eighth, or 12th. That is, it is in his negative houses. It is good for mother. Vice versa, when Rahu is in the fourth house and Moon is well placed, that's exalted, it is not good for mother. I mean, in terms of longevity and general happiness. So remember this. This is a reverse thing. Try it out. I've seen it in a large number of horoscopes, and it is there. Rahu in the fifth house, you'll have problems in having children, difficulty in having children. But there are methods by which people do have children. I'm not talking about the, you will, the right method is not the IVF. Perhaps IVF could help. IVF and also going abroad, because Rahu is something which somebody does with somebody who's abroad. So Rahu in 5th house is like that. Rahu is also good for speculation, but general happiness from children is also not there when they grow up. Rahu in 6th house is Rajyog. It makes you very powerful. It also gives you a good amount of money. But Rahu in the 6th house reduces the power of Jupiter. Jupiter becomes negative. And let us understand the live and non-live things. When I keep on saying live and non-live thing is, Rahu is good for non-live things. Money, power, prestige, you being very cunning, intelligence, those kinds of things Rahu is good for, being successful, being able to talk your way out, etc., etc. Rahu is good at. And but however, Jupiter, when we talk about the live things in Jupiter, let us say, then it is like family, it is children, it is your husband, it's your, how you get treated by your elders, what is your prestige in profession, what people talk at the back of you, It is one thing I've seen that today it is said that if there are a lot of people who talk behind you, you are rising. But it is the what they talk behind you that is more important. And these are the live things of, your respect in society. I mean, people, how do they respect you? It is, people are human beings. So these are live things. So whenever Rahu is in 6th house, it spoils Jupiter. I mean, Rahu in 6th house, suppose Rahu is in 6th house and Jupiter is in Lagna, for an example. So Rahu will give Jupiter what it wants. I mean, Jupiter will get a place where it is sitting in a position of power. Suppose he's a saint, he will have a good, and suppose he's a good Mercury, he has a good, he will, and assuming a very powerful sun, and Saturn and Ketu, let's say in the 12th house, or things to that effect, then he will get a kind of a place where he will be sitting, he will be giving, talking good, people will praise him, he will talk the right things, he will give the good examples, people will come and touch his feet, he will be a good orator, known to be a good spiritualist, people will respect him, he will be a guru, he will be a Mahatma. But then you have seen people like Asaram, the person in Punjab, I've forgotten, and so many other gurus, who have done wrong things. So at the back, he may not be good to women, he may be making money, he may be, using the ashram. Today the ashrams have become religious factories where where it is a means to earn money, so he could be earning money that way, etc. So that is the back thing of it. So Jupiter will give its results through Rahu. I mean, that is what it gives. But it may spoil other things. That is, he may not have a family, he may be doing negative things, he may be amassing wealth, he may be doing, he may not be good to women, he would not be respecting ladies, etc., etc. So you have to see that no planet is good or bad. Every planet has got 10 things. So, it gives things in different ways. So you have to analyze that. A planet has, suppose 10 things to give, it will not be, a planet is not bad for all 10 things. But the way it gives the results, it changes. So Rahu is, I'm trying to explain this through this example of Rahu in 6th, how it weakens Jupiter. And when I said weakens Jupiter, does not mean, a person is zero and he's begging. No, it doesn't happen that way. Rahu in 7th house, it is good for job, it is good for career, it is again good, Rahu wherever. I mean, I'm only talking about Rahu alone. So it is good for those kinds of things. Rahu gives a very good amount of money when it is in the 7th house. But it also, Rahu in 7th house, be sure there will be disturbance in the married life. So married life, Rahu in 7th, it won't be good. 8th Rahu, you get prosperity, but prosperity will come late in life. Even you get property, and prosperity and property both will come late in life. Property also comes late in life. Suppose your father has a lot of wealth and you have to inherit it. You will get the wealth, but suppose your father has an age of, say, 95 years, so you will inherit it at the age of 70, 65, 70, then it's of no use. That is what I'm saying. You will get property, but the property will come very late in life. Rahu in ninth house, be sure, I mean, I call it Pitradosh. I mean, you've done things which have been negative. I mean, in some past karmas, the balance sheet which you've come out with has things where, you have done wrong to your parents, wrong to your elders, they have been aggrieved. So, Rahu in ninth house is Pitradosh. It is bad for most of the things. It is bad for your luck. It is bad for prosperity. It is bad for fortune. I mean, you may be the most hardworking person, which could be due to a good Mars. You could be a very aggressive person, looking very dynamic, doing things, but things will not happen because Rahu in ninth house pulls you down. So this is what happens. Rahu in ninth house. I say that when Rahu in ninth house, it is a Pitta dosh. Rahu in 10th house will give you results depending upon how Saturn is placed. Suppose Rahu is in the 10th house and you have Saturn in the 5th house. 5th house, here I don't talk about Rashi, I talk about houses, the Kalpurish signs of the houses. In all my videos which I give, I talk about houses. So when Rahu is in the 10th house, it is in the house of Saturn. So you have to see how well Saturn is placed. Suppose Saturn is in the 5th house, 5th house is Sun, and that is one of the worst places for Saturn. So Rahu will not give you good results, and Rahu, each planet has a period to give it good result. So Rahu will not give its good result at the age of 42. It's after 42 things will become better for that person in his life, whatever the status, depending on the other planets and various things in the horoscope. So that is important. Is when Rahu in 10th house, look at how Saturn is placed. If Rahu is in 10th house and Saturn is in the 7th house, in the 7th house it gets exalted, very good. A person can rise very high in life, and whichever field he will be a person to reckon with, a rock solid guy. Rahu in 11th, here it is a thing which one happens is that immediately after the birth, maybe a little before the birth, during the birth, or after the birth, it would be bad time for the father and the grandfather, even to the extent that one of them would leave the world, either the father or the grandfather. Whenever Rahu is in 11th house, this I have seen always happens. And whenever Rahu is in the 12th house, it doesn't let you sleep. You don't have the right sleep. You cannot sleep at night. There is a break in your sleep. So, whenever you to check whether Rahu is in 11th and 12th, there is, you have some issues about it. Just ask the person, can he sleep or not? If he can sleep, then of course if Rahu is there in 12th house, is good. But Rahu in 11th house, ask about after his birth, or around the time what was the situation of his father or the grandfather. I mean, even to the extent, I've seen that one of them, he loses one of them. Rahu in the 12th house is not good for a large number of things because it silences Jupiter. And Jupiter is, if it depends on what, it depends on the way, generations are functioning. Jupiter is not good for family, it is not good for children, it's not good for marriage, it will not make you respect the elders. You are not a giver, you don't give charity. But in the present world, people say they don't want a family, they don't want a child, they don't want to marry, they do not want to give because giving is not the right thing to do. People should earn money. So, respect of elders is also very different. The whole connotation has changed. So people may say that, okay, these things are not very important. I don't do these things. But Rahu in 12th house, will reduce, will have an impact of these things, which is Jupiter. And Jupiter therefore was considered earlier very important because it presents these things in life. So that was it's important. So Robert Rahu in 12th house impacts Jupiter, silences Jupiter. It will relate marriage, late children. He will not be respecting elders, as I explained to you, so on and so forth. So this is what I call, the only Rahu placed in any of the house, male or female. I know a lot of people who have Rahu in Lagna. They are very good people who can, it could be a lady who could be very good to talk to. They look beautiful. They talk to you the right thing, but you turn your back. They are biting you. They may be sitting in front of you. but strategizing somewhere to shoot you. They may be consumed by jealousy, but they may be talking about God, they may be talking about vibrations, so on and so forth. So, Rahu in first house, as I explained you know, that is how you have to look at Rahu in terms of a planet which is a very, very important planet for Kali Yuga, and this is a Rahu only placed without conjunction. Rahu alone in 1, 2, 3, 4, all the 12 houses I've explained in very brief, and this is to check a horoscope and check the person out, check the whole, what is the mindset of the person, and it is the mindset which makes you do your actions, and it is the actions which then, make you what you are. What you are is that you can be a billionaire by selling drugs. You can be a billionaire by doing something which is a payback to society. So you have to see these things, and then it is there where the planets, you have to relate all 9 planets, and they are related to each other, and then give your predictions. It is easy to rationalize the prediction, things just happened, but it's very, very difficult to give a prediction, because all 9 planets at any point of time play a role, and it's also the transit, it's also the Varshpal, and it is the horoscope. I take these 3 things as very important, and it is the vector of these things by which I tend to do predictions. So with this I end my video. Thanks for listening to me, and namaskar. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.